So I wanted to make a video and talk about one of the triggers, one of the tactics we use called small ask. And the whole purpose of the small ask is to essentially make the barrier to entry so low that we're removing all friction from the process so that it's very easy for the user to essentially comply or to respond to our question, right? That's the whole idea. So this is a great example. I want to kind of talk about this use case because it's a pretty clever idea. So what's happened is that I went for a meetup event and there were a bunch of people that were going to show up for the event. And then once the event got over, once the event was over, I got an automated email that simply says, say good to see you to someone you just met up at the event, and they listed 4 names. And they've made the barrier to entry so low because all I have to do is I have to click on one of these buttons, which makes the small ask really easy. What's also clever about this is they're actually using a trigger called a choreographed experience. And a choreographed experience is one where we are able to use the user's behavior to target certain specific content to them. So in this case, the behavior is that I went for this meetup event and the content is this. Now, what they've done is, this is the reason why small ask is so powerful, is that it can be used to mask a sequence of more involved questions. And so if I can get people to if I can get people to respond to my small ask, I can actually serve them a few more questions. Now, why would they answer those questions after through a small essay? Why couldn't I just show them the questions up front? The answer for that is that we all suffer from this concept of sunk cost. And sunk cost simply means that when we invest certain amount of time or certain amount of money on something, and if it's a lost investment, it's very difficult to psychologically reconcile with that. So we invest even more time and even more money to get out of that hole. So that's the concept of that's the philosophy of a sunk cost. So in this case, they're using a small ask. So I met a gentleman. I click here. It says good to see you, right? Because I want to say good to see you. And what that does is it brings me to this page where they are now asking me for more questions. They're asking me more questions like, how was the event? How was the venue? What do you think about the group? And so now because the sunk cost is kicked in, there's a slightly higher likelihood that I will respond to these questions and fill it out. So I think this is a pretty clever idea, pretty clever tactic, and you can use this actually for even customer reviews, right? So you can send out an email to your customers, and instead of saying, write a review for us, which is not a small ask, a much better way would be to kind of show the image of the product, say we hope you're really enjoying it. Are you liking it? Yes and no. And if someone says no, take them to a page that says, please let us know how we can make it better. But if they say yes, we can say, oh, we're so happy you're liking it. What do you like best about it? And then you can ask them another question, and then you can ask them to write a review. So that's how you can use a small ask. So this was a pretty good example that I noticed, so I wanted to share it with you.